Hello, I'm Indigo Owl. I'm so happy to welcome you here for the weekly reading. We're going to be looking at the energy for the coming week for this collective, starting from Friday the 13th, going all the way up until next week, Thursday the 19th. I hope you're not scared of the Friday the 13th. 13 in tarot is actually the number of major transformation. Yes, it is called the death card, but it's meant to be a spiritual death that leads to a whole new phase of life, usually something better for you as long as you don't resist it. It doesn't mean physical death, so please don't be scared. So Friday the 13th is going to be an interesting day just because of the number, probably. And going until Thursday the 19th. Number 19 is the number of the sun in tarot. So we've got two interesting numbers here to kind of start and end this weekly forecast. I was ready a bit early today, so I have already drawn the cards. I have looked very cheekily at the oracle cards that have come up already. And I haven't looked at the tarot cards yet, but the idea was, because I had a bit more time to save time now, and we would have a bit more time to read from the booklets that come with the oracle cards to get a bit of additional information. And I also have a little surprise addition at the end, which I shouldn't forget because it's on the side here next to me. Hello, if you're just coming in, I'm so happy you're here. I'm Indigo Owl. I cannot see your comments until after the recording is uploaded, but I'm happy about any comments, even if you're just saying hello or a thumbs up or send me some love. I'd like to know that you're here. Give me a wave. It tells me afterwards who's been watching. I don't think actually it tells me who's been watching, but it tells me who's been waving or interacting in any other way other than watching. So let's have a look what's coming up. I hope your last week has been very good. If you're still looking for guidance for today, what's left of today and tomorrow, please look at last week's guidance. I usually also upload all of my weekly guidances to my YouTube channel, Indigo Owl. Last week, for whatever reason, it was completely impossible. I was unable to save the video on my phone. I was also unable to download the video from my own Facebook page in order to upload it on YouTube. So for last week's video, you can only check on my Facebook page. But hopefully tonight's video I will be able to add to my YouTube channel again. So let's begin by looking at the theme cards for this upcoming week. So the first card I drew is from the Speed of Light Oracle by Leanne Peters, who runs a beautiful company called Temple of Balance in Tasmania. And we have, I shouldn't be surprised because I looked at it, but actually I forgot. So we have number 22 is called Lotus Heart. Beautiful, beautiful yellow with some pink around it. It says Om mantra, meditate, reconnect and peace. So I'm going to read like I promised. I've got the little booklet ready here. Let's have a look and see what the extended message is. It says, Om, the mantra of creation, reminds you to pause and find some inner peace for you. You may find this through softly chanting the sound Om, or perhaps through meditation, connection with nature, or any practice that works best for you. As you refocus and find your inner peace, you will be less affected by outside dramas and problems around you. Switch off for a while to find your inner peace. Om. What a beautiful card. What a beautiful message to start this new week. So let's put this on the first stand here. The next card I drew was from the Grace cards by Cheryl Richardson. These are all really beautiful and they are printed on both sides. So they have the big picture on the front So the message we have here says soul. So far, it already matches quite beautifully the first message, which was to do with finding our inner peace, which we can only find through connecting with our own inner soul. So now we have the soul message, and on the back we get the message with the little picture. And I'm going to read it out for you. It says, practice good soul care. The quality of your outer life is always dependent on the quality of care we give to our soul. So we have two very deep, peaceful messages so far. This one is a bit wider. I might have to make some extra space. So let's also look at the last one that I drew, which is from Messages from Your Angels by Doreen Virtue. And we have Indriel. Now this also happens to be the angel that is on the front of the actual card deck on the box, on the packaging. And I find most people that create cards, the cards they put on the front is particularly dear to them. So this card must have meant a lot to Doreen Virtue when she chose this one to be on the very front out of all of the cards in there. It says, you are a light worker. Spirit needs you to shine your divine light and love like an angel upon the earth and all of its inhabitants. Now, I will be honest, I have replaced the word God on this message with spirit, because I know some of you might not feel that connected to that word, and maybe in some ways spirit is a bit more open to all of you. Maybe you don't mind whatsoever. Yeah. So through connecting with our own inner peace, through connecting with our own soul and giving some additional attention, especially and nurturing to our own inner selves at this time, we will become even better light workers. That's seems to be the message so far. So this is a time to actually slow down a little bit, it feels, and feel into ourselves quite deeply to see what's there that wants to come out, what needs to be nurtured, what needs to be supported at this time. Hello, if you're just joining, I'm so happy you're here. You haven't missed too much yet. We're just going to start looking at the tarot cards now for the upcoming week. And like I said earlier, we have a little surprise addition at the end as well. We had a little surprise extra 2 cards at the end last time. So today something different has come up. But I know the angel Daniel is very much with me when I do these readings, and he loves little surprises. So keep tuned, or if you're watching the replay, watch till the end. And see what's coming up. But first we're going to check out the tarot cards, which I haven't looked at yet. So we're going to start with Friday the 13th. Let's see what we've got. So we have 6 of Cups. Now this is the Lovers Tarot, and it's one of the tarot decks that, unless you're looking at Major Arcana, if you're looking at Minor Arcana, if you're not an experienced reader, this is probably not a good deck to start with, because it doesn't give away very much on the picture. It literally is showing us 6 cups. So the 6 of Cups is often called nostalgia. It sometimes shows a little boy and a little girl holding hands and looking together at the past. So that can be an element of looking back to how things used to be, maybe a little bit through rose-tinted glasses, but it can also represent somebody from the past coming back into your life. And I had a little shiver even as I was starting to begin to talk about this other meaning. So I think for some of you that may well be happening. Now, this may be an old lover, it may be a childhood sweetheart, but it may also be an old friend. But it looks like an old connection from your past for some of you is coming back into your lives on Friday. And maybe you need to take your time to check in with yourself quite deeply to see if it's right to allow that person back into your life. If are they coming back in order to support this progression for you that's bringing out more of the light worker in you, or is it like a little test from the universe saying, are you ready for this, or are you going to allow somebody to derail you at this time? Let's have a look at Saturday. We have Eight of Pentacles. Now, Pentacles in Tarot, where the cups go with emotions and relationships, Pentacles in Tarot go with earthly practical things. The material world in our society very much owes on money, which is why the Pentacles look a lot like gold coins. Eight of Pentacles is usually a card that shows somebody working hard at something that they're good at, something they're gifted and talented for, and earning good money for it. So it may be a time where you're working a lot, or you're working quite hard, but you're enjoying it. You're doing something you're really good at, and you're actually being rewarded well for it. So it's a very good card. It usually says profitable times are ahead. It's come up for Saturday. So interesting. I don't know how many of you work on the weekend, but sometimes what can also happen is that if you don't usually work on weekends, good news about work might be coming in on the weekend, or maybe you'll be going through some administrative process on Saturday that will bring more money in the near future, or simply that feeling of profitable times ahead will start to come in on Saturday. So maybe for some of you, there will be a person re-entering your life that will help with this, that will somehow move on the energy for you and help with this area of Pentacles in life. Let's have a look at Sunday. I wonder if they're all laid out. Yes, they are. Okay, I'm just checking if they're upside down or if that's just how I laid them out. For Sunday, we have Seven of Pentacles. Now that's very interesting because 7 is the number that comes before 8, in case you didn't know that. No, obviously you knew that. But in tarot, we pay attention to numbers in a different way than maybe in daily life. And the Seven of Pentacles is actually a card of assessment. It can sometimes show a farmer who's looking at the pumpkins or vegetables or whatever crop he's been growing. Quite a lot of it is growing quite well, but some of it not so well. And he's literally assessing to see what methods worked very well, what will he do again next time, what didn't do so well, what is he going to maybe leave out. So the Seven of Pentacles is a card where we need to assess a little bit before we progress. So it's possible that this new connection that's kind of becoming a current connection again and brings in this kind of new energy into our area of Pentacles will lead to us needing to make an assessment on Sunday to see what is worth persisting with and what should we maybe at least pause, if not completely uproot and get rid of at this time. Maybe some things can be on the back burner for a while. Let's have a look on Monday what's happening. And we have, 10 of Wands. Now we have Wands. So Wands in Tarot, and so far no major arcana. We're all in the minor arcana, which are giving us the finer details of life and our life situations. And 10's are numbers of completion. So 10 of Wands. Wands go with the element of the element of fire, and can represent our career as a whole and our spiritual journey. That's where the word spirit came from. It can represent our spiritual journey through life, which can to a fairly big extent be expressed through our career. And that doesn't have to just be a paid career. Career in that way also means where we spend a lot of our time. So if, for example, if you're a stay-at-home parent, or you're a carer for a sick or elderly relative, that is also a career. It doesn't have to be paid in order to count as really impacting our spiritual journey through life. I'm getting a message through to do with this from Spirit, so I have to pass that on first. So when Spirit looks at career, it really has nothing to do with money directly. Career means ideally following your spiritual mission in this life. So doing what you're actually called to do. And if you are on track with your spiritual mission, Spirit will make sure that you have enough money. Indeed, Spirit will try and make you very comfortable if you allow it, unless you have too many beliefs that you should be struggling or suffering because you are fulfilling your spiritual mission. Spirit will actually make you feel very comfortable in life. And that can also happen through finding deep fulfillment from actually fulfilling your spiritual mission and not actually having huge needs for loads and loads of spare money to buy loads of extravagant things. You might find a lot of soul level happiness. But certainly you shouldn't have to struggle for your survival. So 10 of Wands can come with a message of there is a completion on Monday in that area of Wands, in the area of career and spiritual journey, as in you are getting ready for the next installment. It can also come as a warning that if you have a habit to take on too much, you need to learn to delegate and not do everything yourself. Maybe with the assessment, pick and choose also what you actually have to do yourself and what you can delegate so you don't overload yourself. Let's have a look at Tuesday. And we have the Ace of Wands. This is a perfect follow-on from the 10 of Wands, because the 10 of Wands, like I said, can represent the completion, something coming to a successful completion in that one area of career and spiritual journey, which then leads to the possibility of a new beginning. As you can see here, in quite a traditional way, these aces, the new beginnings in tarot, can be represented as a hand coming from heaven, representing the divine offering us this new beginning. All new beginnings are challenges. We don't have to take them. But there's certainly, it seems like it's building up to this new opportunity in this area of life. So for some of you, this may represent a new job offer. It may represent a new direction in which to take your self-employment. Occasionally, it can actually represent the birth or conception of a new child, because each person can be represented as one wand. I feel many of you have been working a long time towards this, so you will be more than ready to grab this new beginning, to welcome this new energy into your lives. For some of you, it may herald traveling for work as well, which could be very exciting. There's a very, very lovely new fresh energy coming in the area of Wands. So I'm curious to see what will happen. We've got up until Tuesday, haven't we? So this is Tuesday. Should be a very positive day. I'm being drawn back to these cards here, providing that we've been doing this maybe over the weekend, doing this very special soul care. I love it. Let's have a look at Wednesday, and we have the Hermit. Now that's the first major arcana we've had, and it's the 5th card. So the Hermit comes at times where we need to go inwards, take some time out, and spend a bit of time meditating or checking in with ourselves, seeking our own inner counsel. So it's possible that when this new beginning, this new energy is coming in and this new beginning is being offered, what we need to do is take that little bit time away from other people. It can be 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be a big thing. Maybe go in the garden for a few minutes. Maybe go for a little walk in nature. Sorry, I have a bit of hiccups. Maybe I need to drink a bit of my lovely herbal tea here. Delicious. So, yes, on Wednesday, we may need that time to check in with ourselves, find that quiet space, and seek our own inner counsel as to what to do about this new beginning that's being offered. I see many of you taking it. For some of you, it's bigger, and for some of you, it's smaller. But for all of you, if this is coming in for you, this will be a lovely new energy. And I see most of you taking it. Let's have a look at the last card, Thursday the 19th, and we have Four of Cups. Four of Cups, maybe not exactly what I was expecting, but an interesting completion for this week. We said we're starting with the number 13, which is a major transformation. And in terms of the day of the week of the month, and we're ending on the number 19. Which is actually the Sun. Now, we said this may well be somebody from the past coming back in that may trigger this new energy. And by this point, interestingly enough, they might actually be passing out again. So the Four of Cups is often called despondency. It can show somebody who's been offered different cups and none of them had what they wanted in it, and they've literally become despondent. And life is about to offer them a new cup, and they are no longer looking to see what's in the cup. Now, the message of this card is usually if you find yourself in despondency, try to snap out of it. And when life offers you a cup, have a look. And by all means, if it's more of the same, don't take it. But you should check out new offers. However, because of how this has come up, I do feel that for some of you, a person from the past will be making a brief reappearance in your life, and they will either not hang around that long, and maybe that's because the reason they're coming in is because they are an old soulmate and they're meant to kind of help ignite or bring in this new energy that will also bring about this new beginning. And that's all they're coming back for, or they will be disappointing in some way. Maybe they're coming back to remind you of what it is you are leaving behind, because they are coming on the number 13 day, which is about big transformation and big endings. So, very interesting. So it may well be that this new beginning will happen, but the person that's bringing it is not going to hang about for some of you. As always with my readings, take what resonates with you and ignore the rest. Not all of it may be for you. For some of you, all of it might resonate, and that's amazing. And for some of you, none of it might resonate. Usually, if you're drawn to watching my videos, there's a fair chance there's some, at least part of a message here for you that Spirit wanted you to know. So we've got the cards. I'm going to have a bit more of my herbal tea. We have the cards for the week ahead. And I said there was a little surprise addition for the end. Now, the first thing I wanted to do was I wanted to, I actually did it earlier already. I have this little book of angel numbers. And what you can do with this book is just open it randomly on a page and read the first number that you're drawn to. And I did that earlier because I had a bit of spare time. And the number that came up for us today for this upcoming week was the number 226. And it says, have faith that your material needs are met. Trust and follow the inner guidance that you receive. and be open to receiving help in unexpected ways. So I think that ties in quite beautifully with this reading, because we have this very good news in the financial area. We have this new beginning being offered, and it's saying be open to receiving help in unexpected ways. So that's a lovely message to go with this upcoming week. I find it ties in very nicely with what is likely to be going on for most of you. And the other thing I wanted to share with you is you may have seen in one of my previous videos, I have been working with crystals for a very long time, and I have learned this quite simple way of macrame to make my little kind of smaller crystals into pendants that I can wear. This is my latest one. It's a black kyanite, and it's absolutely beautiful. Maybe if I take it off, I can show you a bit closer. Absolutely beautiful. Kyanite is often blue, light blue, but occasionally it can be black. And I am going to read to you, because this is the crystal Spirit has chosen for all of you to tune into, and you are welcome to work with this crystal yourself if you have one at home, or buy one if you really feel drawn to, and if not, you could even literally write the word kyanite on a piece of paper and ask Spirit to infuse it with the energy of kyanite in the meantime. So I'm going to read to you what the healing properties of kyanite are, in case you do choose to work with it, same as I am at the moment. And it says, spiritually, the other word for kyanite is distine. Distine helps us to detach ourselves from a belief in fate and to recognize when and where we have created the causes that have certain effects later on. It also gives us determination. Emotionally, it leads to a calming effect on the inner world of images and stirred up emotions. I think that ties in very nicely with this as well. It encourages a pleasant, peaceful nature and liberates us from frustrations and stress. That sounds good already. Mentally, it encourages logical, rational thought and spontaneous action whenever necessary. It also encourages conscious self-awareness. Now, interestingly enough for me, I'm currently working on my accreditation for my other job, which is counselling, and conscious self-awareness is a big point that I have to write about. I'm literally currently writing about. This is the part I'm on at the moment, so spot on for me. And I was drawn to the black kyanite sometime last week, without knowing that that is something it directly supports. And physically, it fortifies the functions of the cerebellum and of the motor nervous system, thus improving mobility and dexterity. So for me, again, it makes sense for my back. My back is still healing. It's really, really so much better now because I'm keeping up all the exercise. This is also a picture of a blue kyanite. Beautiful. So yes, I'm keeping up the exercise for my back, but I'm very aware that I have to keep healing it. It's not fully healed. Coincidentally, next week is going to be Daniel's birthday as well, the angel Daniel. And that was his favourite stone, a blue kyanite. He had a very beautiful piece of blue kyanite. It was absolutely his favourite crystal. So if the reading, if you have enjoyed the reading, please give me a like, send me some love, leave a comment, share with your friends. If you would like to connect more privately, I am available for private readings in person if you're in London, but also online if you prefer, or if you're too far away, we can connect on Skype or Zoom. So send me a private message either via the Facebook page or my website, orsalawisdom.com. If you would like one of those purpose-made crystal necklaces, if you have a crystal that's very dear to you and you would like me to make it into a necklace for you and bless it for you, which is something I do additionally, again, message me. I'm currently not running the shamanic circle. I was literally spinning too many plates at the same time, so I'm really focused on the reading and the healing at the moment. I've got some Reiki healing and some shamanic healing coming up. I'm available to book for those. I have 1 day a week that I've set aside to try and fit those in on request. I'm going to say goodbye. I hope you have an amazing week ahead, and namaste. And thank you so much for connecting.